My lovelies, what it do, what it do, what it do. This is Planet Base, the Tree of Life, Genesis 129, aka Virgo Networks, the Animal Planet, aka the Daughters of Zion, aka the Maidens and the Virgins, aka that Topaz Gem Sapphire coming straight from that spiker star, the brightest star, the constellation. Always have a message for you, but it's up to you to discern what I'm trying to say. Remember, I'm just the outside looking into your world, say things that you just don't see, okay? But dig this here. The name of this is called Talkers versus Doers. What they say versus what they do. Okay, let's get into this clip with Miss Higher Lev. Let's see what she got going on.
Now on Facebook, and I want to share. Now this is for the people that converted to our nation. It was like a guy saying he converted 3 years ago, and he just doesn't feel like he fits in. He hears people talk about their family. I want to say to all the people that are choosing this nation, we have a specific role. We are directly tied to Abraham and Sarah. We look at the people around us and we're like adopted in, and we feel like, well, they've got recipes and they've got this. You have so much more. We have to not compare. Comparison is the biggest joy stealer. Enjoy your newfound family, but find your way in a way that does not disrupt your mission. Your mission, Hashem, is doing kibbutz galilot. He's bringing us back home. He didn't say how he was going to bring us back home, so I am offering strength to anybody that doesn't feel like they belong to the nation. You belong. Welcome.
Child, there's so much to unpack with that, but we're going to keep this short and brief, okay? First, she said something about how. Okay, first of all, she don't read, because if she really read, the Bible will tell you how. Daniel 12:2, right? When it says those who sleep in the dust of the earth, some will wake to everlasting life, and the rest will be everlasting contempt. Okay, so it tells you right there. But she doesn't read, okay? And she doesn't read for a reason, because she simply doesn't believe, okay? She says it with her mouth. Okay, she says it with her mouth. All that sounds good. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but what's in her heart is something totally different, okay, than what comes out her mouth. Because when you take a dive into what she's really into, she's into chasing after worldly accolades and fame and all this extra worldly garbage that she's into. Okay, that's what it is with that. And I made a post and I talked about this before, right? About the rapture and all that, right? I said, do you really seriously think that God is going to wait for y'all to finish partying with Chris Brown and Usher? No, you simply just going to miss the boat. And that's the same thing with her. You think God is going to wait on her until she finish deciding whether or not she wants to be a movie star, partying with the movie star? You think God is going to wait for that? No, she's simply just going to miss the boat, because she's simply not focusing on God's plan for her future. She's focusing on worldly things and with the devil, temporary things that the devil has to offer her. That's what it is with that. I keep telling people talk that fly talk, but when it's time for some action, they never had an action to back it up. Now, I'm not calling her a liar, okay? I'm not calling her a liar, but what I'm saying is you got to have some action backed up behind all that, okay? That's what it is with that. She's talking about the role in the mission, but she's not living the role in the mission. Okay, you gotta get out here and do. You gotta be proactive and do the role in the mission, not run your mouth about the role in the mission. Okay, you got people who talk about the revolution, and you got people out here who do the revolution. Okay, you gotta be out here and do it. Okay, you gotta do for yourself, not sit up here and run your mouth. Okay, because it'll never get done. The rabbi can't do it, the imam can't do it, your mother can't do it, your father can't do it, nobody can do it but yourself. You got to get out here and do it. Otherwise, it simply never get done. Okay, but anyway, I'm about to get on out of here, man. It's that spiker star, the brightest star in the constellation. Talkers versus doers. Okay, when you read in the Torah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Sarah, and all them, they were not focused on being movie stars. They were worshipers of God. They worship God with all their heart, soul, and might. She's not doing neither one. She's just focusing on being the next top movie star or something like that, okay? That's not what Abraham, Isaac, and Sarah and Jacob did, okay? They were not focusing on worldly accolades. You have to do what they did. You can't do anything different than what they did. No, you have to specifically stay focused, okay? You can't get distracted, okay? Because the devil will throw many curveballs, okay? But it's up to you and it's up to her to dodge these curveballs. And in her scenario, she never dodged those curveballs, okay? She fed right into the distractions, being distracted and getting rocked back to sleep, okay? Focusing on worldly accolades, okay? That's what it is with that. You got to be focused with this thing, okay? When it comes down to your salvation and your inheritance and things of that nature that God has in store for you, you can't afford to be getting distracted by worldly things, because the devil is going to throw many curveballs your way. But you got to dodge, you got to swerve, you got to curve and swerve this thing, okay? And she's not doing neither one of them, okay? Which means her talking, none of that stuff means nothing. Her words and everybody's words is nothing more than just filthy rags feeding off of thin air, okay? That's what it is with that. It's just feeding off of thin air. Blah, 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 blah. When you going to live the mission? When you going to be out here and do the mission? I don't see you living the mission. I don't see you doing the mission. She's not doing the mission. She's focusing on being the next movie star. That's the only thing she's concerned about. She don't care about her salvation. She don't care about nothing. She put all that, she chose all that in exchange for what God had planned for her future, okay? You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either going to be this or it's simply going to be that, okay? But you can't have it both ways. Anywho, I'm about to be on out of here, man. It's that Spike and Star, the brightest star of the constellation, man. Talkers versus doers. You got to walk it like you talk it. Walk it like you talk it. You talk about the mission, you got to be out here to do the mission. You got people out here that say, oh, we should do this. Why you not doing it? You got people out here talking about we need to do this. Well, why you not doing it? Okay? And they simply not doing it because they don't have no faith and they don't have no salvation, and neither do they trust the process. Anywho, I'm out here looking into your world, seeing things that you just don't see. Talkers and doers are not in the same classroom.